Okay, I'm ready.
I'm very excited to introduce our guest today. Chances are he's seen you naked, and for the love of God, don't ask him about fucking Christmas. We got Bill Wiff. Thank you so much, man. Super, super thankful for you to be here. I'm sure you've done a lot of these lately, right?
Lately, I've done a few, yeah.
Would you say that you've done more recently since I Think You Should Leave came out?
Oh, yeah. I've done a lot more since then. I didn't do anything before that thing hit. That like turned everything around for me.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Yeah, I went from about 210 followers to 1,300 in about less than a week, I think it was. It just went crazy. Shit. Yeah, I was wasting all my time playing with it all the time, but ain't making my wife real happy.
It seems like you've been in a little bit of everything. iCarly, NCIS, so many things.
Yeah.
Westworld. Yeah, Westworld.
Yeah. Of course, I'm an actor. I'll do any kind of work I can find.
Yeah.
How did you get into acting?
See, well, it starts a long time ago. My old man is a Baptist minister. So I watched him do like an hour and a half monologue on Sunday morning, an hour on Sunday evening, 45 minutes on Wednesday night prayer meeting. And I see myself in him a lot when I'm acting. I see his reactions, his gestures. But how I got into it really, that's where the nut was. But when I was a senior in college, I was I was completing my radio, TV, and film bachelorette, and I was forced to take an acting class from the theater department. So then I did a scene, and the acting teacher said, "Wow, that was great. You should audition for the show they're doing." So the show they were doing was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest before the movie came out.
Nice.
And so I auditioned, and I got the part of the guy who's got a lobotomy. Roughly, I think it was. But then I got hooked, and I did theater all the time then. And I did every show I could get in college. I worked down in San Diego for 8 years and doing main stage theater, lunchtime theater, late night theater, improv troupe, song parody group. But I was making squat money, so I moved to LA. I figured I could make squat money up here just as easy. If you play that lottery long enough, you might get a winning ticket. So it's easier to play up here than it was down there.
Oh, I bet, man. What were your first thoughts when you read the script for Crashmore, man? Because it's such a weird off-brand comedy.
Tell me. Yeah. Well, see, part of it is I did the audition probably a year ago or so before the COVID shit hit the wall.
Yeah.
And so it was when I first read it, I says, well, I'm going to have to go on, because I'd never seen I Think You Should Leave before. So I went through and binged all the way through that thing. I said, well, now I think I get it. So at least I'm ready to try it.
Yeah.
But there were parts of it in there where my wife who runs the camera and reads the lines for me, we were just thinking, how in the hell do they expect us to do this thing? It makes no sense at all.
Does it?
But she hears that from me all the time, so she was used to it.
Are you getting recognized?
Good. Not yet, because I'm still wearing a mask and I wear sunglasses and I wear a hat. Nobody knows who I am. And so, yeah, I don't get recognized yet.
Yeah. So when you guys sat down to film this, was the entire thing scripted, or it seems like there's a lot of improv and you guys get to riff? Was that the case?
We got to riff a lot, but basically the script made the cut.
Okay.
The improv stuff that we did was, I don't, of course I got to a point where I don't recognize the script versus the improv anyway. And so I didn't pull the script out and run it while they were doing while I was watching the show, but it was pretty close to script.
Really? Okay.
And there was some of the improv stuff that they suggested, they would give you suggested lines and you would try it this way. And we got to a point where it says, okay, just do it the Biff way. And so I did a couple things like that. Oh yeah, we like that one. Okay.
Did you prefer the mock interview or the actual trailer? Which one's your favorite?
Oh, I like the trailer, I think.
Yeah.
The mock interview is really fun because it gets even more ludicrous than what it is in the tape things that just don't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
But I like the trailer bit because it was easier, because we're doing all these little short take stuff, and so it's just easier to memorize one line that I'm going to say in 2 minutes than it is to say, okay, I got to do this monologue that I learned 2 months ago, and haven't been working on it as hard as I should. But I had it, but it was long.
Do you ever get tired of being typecast, or you'll take any role anywhere?
Yep, I'll take any role, anytime. Never turn down work. That was one thing I learned that I heard Lucille Ball say. Part of her key to success was that she never turned down a job. So I've kind of adopted that. And there are some auditions I don't take because I just like, this is not me. Yep. But they're few and far between.
Has there ever been anything like I Think You Should Leave where you got it and you had no idea how it was going to turn out? Such a big success.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, man.
Dave, that was another one that it's just, what are they doing? And man, I think that guy Dave just might be a fucking genius. So the stuff that he does is really bizarre and out there, and he works hard. You know, I didn't really get a chance to work with Tim on I Think You Should Leave, but I did get a chance to work with Little Dicky on Dave. So it was different. They were two completely different things. And people talk about the meta of it, which is one thing I had to look up because I didn't know what meta was. But in that Dave thing, it's there because I'm an actor playing an actor who just happens to be me, but it's not really me because I'm acting. And it was just like, okay, I can get this. And some of it, I Think You Should Leave had some of that too, to where I was an actor actually playing Santa Claus, but supposed to be Santa Claus, who's playing Detective Crashmore. And it just goes back so many layers in my head that I'm just like, who am I right now? Let's do this.
Yeah, man, it's such an absurd concept. And just like in the trailer, I think one of my favorite lines you say is, not really, everything's kind of fucking sucked lately. I lose it. And man, as an actor, how often do you go back and watch your own work, like either to see what you can improve on or just out of pure enjoyment, man?
As soon as I can get it, I'll watch it the first time by myself. And if I'm happy with it, which I'm usually satisfied with it. I don't think I'm ever really overjoyed and happy to say, well, that guy was great. So I do have my doubts, but then the second time I watch it with my wife, who is my biggest critic. And then we come to a conclusion about, well, where was that on a scale of 1 to 10? Yeah. I don't remember what I Think You Should Leave was, but I know it wasn't a 10.
You get a 10 from us.
Yeah, you get a 10 from a lot of people.
Okay, good. Yeah, I do. I've had a lot of people talk to me, on Instagram. They pop up all the time, and people wanting favors and women wanting money. And
really?
They ain't gonna get shit if they have tattoos, though.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care, but it ain't good behavior.
Yes. Man.
Do you find there's any correlation between how much fun you have shooting something and how the end product, quality-wise, comes out?
Well, I don't know how much fun actually shooting a project is. People always say, well, have fun with it. And that's a hard thing to do because you're working.
Right.
And you have it set in your mind. And I just have it set in my mind how I want to do it. And I do it that way. And everybody says, come on, just have fun with it. I'm going, well, what the fuck? I was just having fun with it. So between that and seeing the finished product, I think I like seeing the finished product. Actually, what I like to do is get that first check. Once I get that first check, I say, all right, I did this job. Yeah. Until I see the money, it's just anything can happen in this business.
You've been on a lot of really big comedies. Grace and Frankie, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, It's Always Sunny. Is there any big comedy show you're a fan of that you'd love to be on while it's running?
That I haven't done yet?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything. There's so much stuff out there now.
There's a lot.
It's just you've got all the online streaming stuff. You got the network TV. Yeah. You got who knows how many, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, all the different things, Homebox, Extra, whatever the hell that thing is. And there's just so much. There's just so much to take in. Yeah. So it's hard for me. I have shows that I follow, but mostly I follow whatever my wife likes to watch. She wants to watch It's Good By Me. It'll pass the time. Oh, she likes the British epic stuff like Downton Abbey, and there's a couple other ones she watched, but they're like British soap operas, basically.
Yeah.
But
Did she ever kind of nudge you in that direction? Like, Biff, you played a meth head last time on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Can you be something
Right.
more dignified?
No, that's my mom. My
Oh.
mom, she passed away just about 6 months ago.
Oh,
But
sorry
that's
to
the
hear
way she
that.
was. When are they going to let you play something besides the bum? What's the matter? Come on, get something good. You could be a doctor if you just shave off that beard.
Oh my gosh. What is it like being able to get on the computer and send a GIF of yourself now? Because you're everywhere, man. There's Crashmore gifts.
I know. I see stuff popping up all the time, and I make these. Well, my wife actually makes a little on my profile page on Instagram. She makes these little cards. They're like, this guy's in this thing streaming now on Hulu, streaming now on, and I've got about 3 more of those that I got to get done because I don't want to release them all at the same time. I think I've got 3 more. I've got another show in the can, and so just waiting for it to drop. And I'm in this movie that's out now called Hard Luck Love Song. I play a guy with one eye. So I had to go through makeup every day and close down my eye, which was it was interesting, but it was uncomfortable. But after I was there for a while, I just forgot about it being there. So yeah, that was a fun shoot. We did a lot of night shoots for that. And those are always harder than daytime shoots, although the traffic is a lot easier in the nighttime shoots.
When should we look out for the movie?
Oh, the movie's, I think, releases in the middle of October sometime. I don't remember exactly. They're running a lot of trailers on Instagram for it.
Okay, awesome, man. We're gonna check that out.
People keep telling me they want a Crashmore feature film.
Yeah,
I'm all for that. I can do that.
I'd be for that too.
Yeah. Tell Tim.
So do you have a favorite? I think you should leave sketch.
Yeah, there's this thing. They have a Detective Crashmore thing where he does a trailer and he does this interview thing afterwards at Santa Claus. That's pretty much my favorite in the whole thing.
Well, what's the silver medal, I guess?
Okay, silver medal. Let me think for a second. Well, there's so many of them. I like the guy who's in the first scene of our thing where he's taking the food. I want to eat your hamburger. He eats all the guy's hamburger. Yeah, that was a fun scene. And there's a lot of them. You know, I like all the stuff that goes on outside of it. The shirt stuff, Dan's shirts or something, whatever it is. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I like all that stuff. It's just kind of fun because it's so. Is this real? Is this not real? I don't really know. Maybe should I put on a shirt and say it's from Dan? No, I can't do that.
I got a question for you. So you're a thespian, big theater guy.
Yeah.
What is the worst movie you've ever seen? Just bar none.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Okay. That's a respectable answer.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Dang, I've not.
Yeah, it's a fun one to hate, really.
Yeah,
because it's just trippy.
You get a certain threshold, and it's kind of fun to watch how terrible something is.
yeah, that's really true.
You have anything?
Go ahead.
Oh, just wondering if you had anything that you've ever done that either you particularly weren't fond of, maybe either the script or the movie itself, or something that was just so hard. It was just hard to capture what you wanted to do with it.
Well, yeah, it was the interview scene on the I Think You Should Leave. That was a hard piece to do. That was hard. And that's the one I can remember most recently. There have been other ones where the weather will get you. I can't think of anything right off my bat, but when you're working outside, it's like when Dave had gotten out of you guys saw Dave, right?
Yeah.
So when we've taken him out of that isolation float bed and he's laying on the ground, it was cold and that guy was shaking, except when the camera started rolling, and then he was dead on professional.
Wow.
I was just like, man, this guy is doing something I don't think I could ever do.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. He was a real trooper. I was really impressed by him. Like I say, I caught up on some of his stuff after I'd done the shoot because we still had episodes to go, and he hadn't dropped yet before I did the shoot. It was just interesting how hard he worked. It was impressive to me. And Tim was the same way. Tim would be there in the morning when I got there. He'd be like the last one he'd still be there when I left. I was never the last person to leave. And he kind of went out of his way, because we didn't work together. He kind of went out of his way at the end of every day to come and say something, to thank me for what I was doing. Congratulations, you're doing a good job, that kind of thing. I really appreciated that. But he's a hard worker too. It's something that I didn't see really in my younger years. I never had that kind of thing where I have to carry a show on my back, and except in theater. And so I really have respect for those guys, because they shoot long. They're long days, 16 hours sometimes, and it's brutal.
I mean, besides being a very genuine guy, Tim, does he carry himself almost like he does in the show, where he's just kind of goofy?
He was never really very goofy with me. He was always more down to earth, talking to me like a fellow actor would. And I didn't have a chance to see any of his silliness, and I didn't hear any of it. I didn't hear any of it reflected from what other people were saying either. So I think that he's a little bit more professional than what he is, than what he appears on screen.
Yeah, he worked on some big shows.
It's hilarious, man. Pardon me?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I forget what I was saying.
Oh.
I'm old, man. I don't remember what I was saying from
Well,
what I had for breakfast. I don't know what I had for breakfast.
Well, I was going to say you worked on some big shows. Have you ever been starstruck by any of the situations or people you've got to work with?
Oh, yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, when I worked with Andrew Brauger.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, oh, my God, this is Andrew Brauger. I've been watching his career since he was just a kid in Glory. And then there was a series that he was on, not L.A. Law, but something like one of those kind of things that he was in. We watched. I think I've seen just about everything he's ever done.
Really?
And I got to the end of the day. Well, he was trying to get me to tell him what my real name was. And I says, you'll never find out. You can't find it on the internet. You'll never know. And so he got out his phone and starts looking for it. And sure enough, he couldn't find it out. So we had that little bit of an interchange. And then at the end of the day, when he come to speak to me, we talked quite politely. And I actually that was when I was really Star Trek, saying, man, I've been watching you. You're one of my favorite actors. And that was the first time I had the shakes on that shoot. I'd been talking to him all day, but just to talk to him seriously, to just express my feelings towards how much I appreciated his career was, I don't know, it was tough in a way, because it was just he's just an impressive actor.
For sure. His delivery's hilarious. He's one of my favorite guys on that show.
I got another one for you. Back to the first job that I had in LA was moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. And I got this scene I was going to do that I had to do, and it was with Sybil Shepherd. And I'd been had a crush on Sybil Shepherd since I was just barely old enough to stand up and get a boner. That was about the time it was time to. That was about the time I fell in love with Sybil Shepherd. So I had this scene. I'm waiting all damn day long. It goes into the night. We're about midnight. And finally, they call it my scene. I said, okay, I'm going to do it. It was a background actor, male, in a blonde wig, not Sybil Shepherd.
Oh,
shit, man. No.
Yeah, waiting all day. I still get residual checks on that thing.
Oh, no way.
It's been, I can't even think, maybe 25 years since I did that. And the checks are huge, like sometimes up to 6 cents.
Are those the ones that come in most frequently? You've got Roseanne. You got a lot of classics in your resume there.
I got a lot of classics in there. Wait, let me show you this for a second. These are all the checks that I have that are 1 cent or less. I've actually got a check in here that's for 0 money.
What in the hell, man? What is the point of that? Why do they send that?
I do not know. It's something like SAG or somebody is screwing around with it.
What kind of look at the bank do you get when you bring in a check less than a penny?
I go to ATM. Actually, I don't take any of those checks in. They're all right here.
Yeah, wait till they reach like a couple bucks and then take them in, man.
Yeah, maybe. All I've got is about 95 to go.
So you talked about one of some of the hardest roles you played. What about one of the most memorable? Would it be Crashmore, or is there something else that sticks out to you?
Crashmore is pretty good. I like that one. And obviously I like doing Dave. And I don't know. I always had more fun doing theater than I did filming. What was the question again? I told you I forget.
Most memorable, man. Most memorable.
Proudest performance.
Most memorable.
How ironic, huh?
I think probably Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the one I had the most fun with, if there is such a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was just because on that set. I did a couple of episodes of Reba. One day I got in a little bit early, and I was sitting at the table, and I had like some Queen Marguerite stuff. Reba come in and sit right down next to me, and she said, "How are you doing today, Biff?" And I said, I'm having breakfast next to eating grits with Reba McEntire. I couldn't be much better.
That's great.
That is awesome, man.
What kind of music is Biff Wiff into?
I listen to old Southern gospel quartets. The Blackwood Brothers, the Oak Ridge Brothers do some gospel stuff. The Imperials, the Cathedrals, it just goes on and on. And I listen to black gospel quartets, Mighty Clouds of Joy, Dixie Hummingbirds, and drives my wife crazy. She won't let me put it on in the car. It's too much stuff for her. And the fact that I'm not really religious at all, but it was just the music that I grew up with. That's the kind of stuff I grew up with. I was enjoying, when I was younger, and I still enjoy it to this day. And then after gospel comes other like bluegrass, country stuff, what they call Americana music. And that's what's on my playlist.
All right. You can only have one food for the rest of the time. Italian or Mexican? Which one are you picking?
Mexican.
All right.
Yes, man. Good choice, dude.
Yeah, Taco Bell knows me by name.
Dude, so how much do you do theater around town? You said you enjoyed that a little more. You still actively doing that?
I do that. I used to do a lot. I just don't do it anymore, partly just because I'm getting too old to do it. And the memorization is like tough for me. I'm not kidding when I tell you I have problems with my memory. And I credit it all to just getting old. That's the way things happen. You start losing stuff. So I think, well, you still got to have a good time. You still got to be not worrying about what this is our live for today. This too shall pass.
So you've been doing theater for a long time. Did you ever think you'd reach the peak of your popularity at this age, or where did you think you would peak as an actor?
Let's see. I thought I'd peak at 19. I thought at 20, maybe 21.
Yeah.
22, maybe, like that. It just goes on. Next year, I'm going to get my break next year. It's going to be
right.
And then this has been kind of like that in many ways. It's not like I've got a network series or something, but there's still more excitement about it, more buzz with people having to keep up with the dialogues that go on when people communicate with you. You still got to communicate back for most of them. There's some of them that I don't know. I was cruising around on Instagram the other night, and I ran into this conversation where some guy said the Crashmore scene, that was the worst scene of the entire series. And he had no idea I was there when he put it down. And I just went, fuck you, you suck. Oh, wait a minute, but you were really good at Dave.
Jeez, man.
Wow. So he backpedaled and praised you for Dave, but he had no love for Crash.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Are you actively on there trying to be a little reactive to all the hate?
I haven't gotten a whole lot of the hate.
Yeah.
I'm surprised if you would. I'm surprised that dickhead said he didn't like Crashmore.
Yeah, I was too. And I forget what it was on. It was on some thread off of a picture, off of a JPEG or something, the GIF that he was responding to. And that was how I got to see him, because I was looking at this one particular thing. It wasn't my post, it was somebody else's post that he was commenting on. So
he said he hated it.
yeah, he said it was the worst. He said it was the worst thing of the season.
That fucker. He said that.
Yeah.
Unprofessional bullshit.
No shit.
Unprofessional bullshit. Exactly. Bullshit.
Shit, man, it's been so awesome talking to you. I'm such a big show the fan.
Fan of the show.
Fan of the show. Fan of you, man. I don't have anything else for you. I don't know if Ryan does.
No, I think unless you got anything else you want to talk about that we didn't bring up.
How'd you guys get started doing this?
Just boredom.
We've been friends for a long time. We were in a band together for like 10, 15 years.
Oh yeah.
And then figured we could do something else. We both like music. We love music. We love
Yeah.
music. So we do a podcast about both of them.
Well, so you guys don't jam together anymore?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not really?
No.
Kind of burn each other out for a while. Maybe later.
Yeah.
We hated each other for a second, but we're cool now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good to have old buddies. Take care of your old friends, stick them out, because they're very precious. I've got buddies that I play in an online card game on Tuesday nights in poker. We've got a guy who's in New York, who's my brother-in-law, and then like my best friend from San Diego. We're like in this bi-coastal poker atmosphere on Wednesday night, and it's just we've been playing this poker game for probably close to 40 years, and It started at home,
Yeah.
and then when the pandemic hit, and everything moved online, and it's good. I've known these guys forever, and longer than I've known my wife. And we've been together for 35 years, I think. Don't tell her I didn't know.
Wow.
How many years do you have in the beard?
Oh man, I've had this beard on and off so many times in my life. The first beard I grew in college because I was doing a role on stage that I thought the guy should have a beard, and it was pretty scraggly.
Yeah.
And then I'd say this one is probably close to 2 years that I've been growing this one. It's a real mess. I need to go to a barber. I don't think I've gotten a haircut since the pandemic hit, and so I'm way overdue.
Is Mrs. Wiff a fan of the beard?
Yeah, I think so. She don't care.
That's
Do
good.
what you want to do. If you want to grow a beard, grow a fucking beard. I don't care. So and we're both that way with each other. Pretty much we're together, but a lot of stuff we do separately.
That's good.
It's okay. I still love her. She laughs at my jokes. So any woman that laughs at my jokes, I fall in love with right away. She don't like that all that much.
That is the best form of endearment. Somebody laughing at your jokes. Honestly.
Exactly. At the stupid stuff I say, she'll laugh. I love you, honey. Okay, boys.
Well, yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so
Man,
much.
thanks again, man. You have a great week and take care, okay?
Okay, you guys too. Thanks for having me.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you.
Peace.